Hi guys, welcome to Learn C++ by Pizza Technologies. Today is the second lesson and we're going to be doing comments. Now a comment is a programmer readable note that is inserted directly into a source code of the program. Comments are ignored by the compiler and are for the programmer's use only. Now in C++ there are two ways for commenting. There is a single line comment, which looks like this. Now this is a single line comment, just this. I will increase the brightness. Hope you all can see well now. Now typically the single line comment is used to make a quick comment about a single line of code. Now we're going to try out something rather than a single line comment. Let's just open a new file and copy this there. Now here we're going to add that, and we're going to try out here you'll find that having comments to the right of a line can make both the code and the comment hard to read, particularly if the line is long. If the lines are fairly short, the comments can be simply aligned by usually using the tab to a stop, like try it out here. So instead of having all these comments that make the code quite hard and impossible to read through, let's try and make it a bit easy. Hold up. So instead of just deleting these, you can make them come all to one line. Like that. Now by making them all come to this one line, we've used tab and space sometimes, but tab for the most. However, if the lines are long, placing comments right before you make the line of code is often the best idea. Therefore, instead of having this here, choose to have it here. And then instead of having this here, choose to have it here, as well as for this, just to have it there. Now if you check that code nicely, now it's even easier to read. So if we run this code right now, I am quite sure it will give us a compilation termination, because it's not saved now. Let's save the work first, then try it out again. Now let's try it out again. You see, it has actually worked and it has removed the comments. Now if you check nicely, it has removed the comments here, and it only executes the code itself, not the comments. Like I said, comments are ignored by the compiler. Now multi-line comments look like this. And I'm going to try it. Now everything between this symbol and this symbol are all ignored. Therefore, if we try to run this code, it will still give us only the insides of the code from the std. Out. Hello world, it is very nice to meet you, and yeah, this is now a multi-line comment. Now warning, do not use multi-line comments inside other multi-line comments. Wrapping single line comments inside a multi-line comment is okay, but a multi-line inside a multi-line is not okay. Now, proper use of comments. Comments should be used for three things. First, for a given library or program or function. Comments are used to best describe what the program or function or library does. These are typically placed on top of the file or library or immediately preceding the function, like this. I'm going to try something out here. Or now, if you see this, the comment is used to first explain what the program is just about to do, or what the function is just about to do. Now, all of these comments give the reader a good idea of what the library, program, or function is trying to accomplish without having to look at the actual code. The user, possibly someone else or you, trying to reuse a code you previously written, can tell at a glance whether the code is relevant or what he or she is trying to accomplish. This is particularly important when working as a part of a team, where not everyone will be familiar with all of the code. Now, there is something like a bad comment. At the statement level, comments should be used to describe why the code is doing something. A bad statement comment explains what the code is doing, not why it is doing what it's doing. Like, this is a bad code. This is a bad code. Bad comment, actually, not code. This is a bad comment, because after that it tells you exactly what will happen in the code. Now, we can already see that site is already being set to 0 just by looking at the statement. That comment is not correct. Therefore, the right comment there will be Therefore now if we try to run site, it will give us the right one. Now we know why the player site is being set to 0. This here we can call it a good comment. Sorry, this here we can call it a good comment. Now programmers often have to make a tough decision between solving a problem one way or solving it another way. Comments are a great way to remind yourself or tell someone else the reason you made the one decision instead of the other. Like now here it shows why they decide to use a linked list instead of an array, because arrays do insertions too slowly. Therefore a linked list will be faster. Now finally, comments should be written in a way that makes sense to someone who has no idea what the code does. It is often the case that a programmer will say it's obvious what it does. There is no way I'll forget about this. Guess what? It's not obvious at all. And you will be amazed how quickly you forget. You or someone else will thank you later for writing down what and how and why of your code in human language. Reading individual lines of code is easy. Understanding what goal they are meant for is not at all. Now comment on your code liberally and write your comments as if speaking to someone who has no idea what the code does. Don't assume you remember why you made specific choices. Now commenting out code. Converting one or more lines of code into a comment is called commenting out your code. This provides a convenient way to temporarily exclude parts of your code from being included in your compiled program. To comment out a single line of code, simply use these lines. Those ones actually will comment out your code, like here now. If I decide to come to this code and do this, it will comment out the hello world. Therefore, if I decide to run it, it will not give me. Wait, let's remove these. Let's actually just comment out these. If we decide to run, it will run us. It is very nice to meet you, and yeah, therefore the hello world here has been commented out. Now we you can return this, and if we run it, it will give us the full code here. Now, a few reasons why you might want to comment out a code is when you're working on a new piece of code that won't compile yet, and you need to run the program. The compiler won't let you compile the code if there are compiler errors. Commenting out the code that won't compile will allow the program to compile so you can run it. When you're ready, you can uncomment the code and continue working on it. 2. You've written new code that compiles but doesn't work correctly, but you do not have time to fix it until later. Commenting out the broken code will ensure that the broken code doesn't execute and cause problems until you can fix it. To find the source of an error, if a program isn't producing the desired results or is crashing, it can sometimes be useful to disable parts of your code to see if you can isolate what's causing it not to work correctly. If you comment out one or more lines and your program starts working as expected or stops crashing, odds are whatever you last commented out was the problem of the code. You can then choose to investigate why those lines of code are causing a problem, and you want to replace one piece of code with another piece of code. Instead of just deleting the original code, you can comment it out and leave it there for reference until you're sure your new code works properly. Once you are sure that your new code is working properly, you can remove the old commented out code, and if you can't get your new code to work, you can always delete the new code and uncomment the old code to convert it to what you had before. Commenting out code is a common thing while developing. So many IDEs provide support for commenting out a highlighted section of code. How you access functionality varies by your editor, the text editor. Now, just a tip: if you always use single line comments for your normal comments, then you can use multi-line comments to comment out your code without conflict. If you use multi-line comments to document your code, then commenting out code using comments can be more challenging. So I thank you for the audience today. This has been Comments in C++, and like and subscribe if you're new, and please watch the other video of C++ and the previous videos of Python. Thank you. This has been an awesome class. Have a good time.